Welcome to Macho Megaliths Carnac Edition. Today we are in Brittany, France, evaluating the Carnac Stone.
The Carnac Stones are megalithic structures or prehistoric stone monuments that are known to be up to 6 meters tall and weigh several hundred tons. These massive formations are found not just in Brittany, France, but other parts of the nation as well, and all over the world, from the Moai Heads of Easter Island to Stonehenge in the UK. My team and I caught a flight to St. Malo, the closest city to the Carnac Stones with an international airport.
Today, one of the claims we will be investigating is that Merlin or St. Cornelius conjured these stones.
I met up with Carnac native and personal friend of mine, Madame Baguette, to get the scoop on the local legends surrounding the Carnac Stones.
It is said that St. Cornelius invoked the wrath of God to turn a Roman legion to stone during the Christian persecution in France.
St. Cornelius was a Catholic pope in the year 251 AD. He was pursued by the Roman Empire during a time when Christians were persecuted by the throne. Could he have harnessed the power of God and turned an entire legion of Roman soldiers to stone?
The stones still hold a lot of religious significance to people locally. However, there is a group of people that believes that, rather than St. Cornelius, the wizard Merlin turned the Roman legion into stone.
And now I'm going to channel my inner Merlin and try to turn these people into stone. Yeah. It's not working. Another claim here at the Carnac Stones is that they were built by the people of Carnac, using pulley systems, cattle, and other devices.
I headed off to meet with Dr. Fetter, an expert on megalithic structures, to sit down and talk about how ancient people could have made the Carnac Stones.
What are your opinions on the claims made about the Carnac Stones?
I believe that the people of Carnac erected the Carnac Stones, and I believe this for a number of reasons. Cattle bones have been found in and around the Carnac Stones, and this seems very simple and mundane, but it's actually very important because the people of Carnac domesticated cattle, and this is proof that the people of Carnac were able to move stones via cattle. There has been carbon dating of the cattle bones found that perfectly match the time range that the Carnac Stones were erected. The stones also have been found to match a local quarry. And this also supports the claim of the cattle, because if the cattle could go to the quarry, then the stones could have been easily moved. Weathering also proves that the stones were not just erected at one fantastic time, but over a number of years, which would be probable considering all the manual labor and work that would take into moving them.
And now we're at the Carnac Stones with Dr. Fetter, here to review some of the evidence that these were actually built by the people of Carnac.
As you can see, we are on the side of the Carnac Stones, and if you'll come over this way, you can see my first major find, and it is a fragment of a cattle bone. You can look across the road over here, you can see a glimpse of the quarry, and these two go hand in hand. The quarry was so close, and the stones were able to be moved pretty effectively. These stones have been proven to be from this quarry, so finding the cattle bones and being able to carbon date them back to the exact same time that these were said to be built is a major find. As you can see, weathering has really worn the stone down. Right here, it's pretty evident that it's really lost some part of the stone. And it's very obvious that it has been weathered and eroded a lot because of the size of the stone. So we can assume that all the stones were the same size and of manner whenever they were taken from the quarry, but now, as you can see, this one is much smaller than these over here, which only proves to our theory that it could not have been Merlin or St. Constantine because they weren't all made at the same time. This one is smaller and it has been more eroded and has been weathered because it's older.
After joining Dr. Fetter in the field, the team and I headed back to Boone to analyze all the information we gathered in Brittany.
So, in conclusion of Macho Megaliths Carnac Edition, we are going to look over the theories one more time. The pseudo-archaeological claim is that Merlin or St. Cornelius conjured these stones. This is clear from the fact that there's over 3,000 stones and that they're very, very well aligned. And for the archaeological claim, we personally believe and agree with that the Neolithic people of Brittany, France built these stones to use as a ritualistic purpose. We have found cattle bones at the site of the Carnac Stones that have been carbon dated to the time that the Neolithic people would have constructed the Carnac Stones. The weathering and erosion of these stones is also helpful evidence because it proves that they weren't conjured at one exact time. As a group, we all decided that we agree with the theory that they were built by Neolithic people and that it wasn't by Merlin or St. Cornelius.
That concludes this installment of Macho Megaliths. Join us next week as we travel to the UK to take on Stonehenge.